And also given the possibility of pairs having uncomfortable and courageous conversations that are going to span across different intersecting identities, we felt that it was absolutely necessary and critical to implement guidelines for psychological safety. We want to ensure that participants understand that they can speak up both in their pairs and to us as staff without risk of negative consequences, by also providing them with a choice to decide which topics are off limits or respecting our participants' boundaries. So during the course of their mentoring relationships, pairs will be provided with resources on culturally competent mentoring, and this ensures that this level of respect is maintained throughout the duration of their mentoring relationship. And so after 20 minutes of hopefully a great self-reflective exercise, especially for those who may like, doing personality tests, knowing their MBTI or whatever the case may be, the application process will be complete at that point, and applicants will then be notified of their match in April.
Thank you, Elvie. So this is just the timeline to walk you through the process. So when our programs will launch, I believe it was on July 11th, that's when the application period started. So we're accepting applications until the end of this month. But if you happen to miss this application cycle or for whatever reason, the next opportunity to apply would be February 15th of 2023, and then that application period will close on March 30th of the same year. So after applications are submitted, in September, the LEAD subcommittee, so the LEAD subcommittee actually is comprised of Elvie and myself and volunteers from many of our member societies, and they were very instrumental in helping us develop this program. Well, they're going to convene, we're all going to convene and conduct a matching session where we review all the applications that have been submitted and start the process with making the pairs. In October, we will announce the participants. The participants will be contacted from us to let them know that they're in the program and who their mentor or mentee is, depending on what role they applied for. And then also in October, November timeframe, the program will officially begin, meaning that this is when the pairs, start to meet and have their relationships ongoing. Next slide, please. So we wanted to provide some FAQs. This could be found online. We want to give you a sample of some of the questions that I'll walk through, but of course, if there's any questions that are not addressed here, as I mentioned, we'll leave time at the end of our presentation and open the floor. But some questions that we want to address now is, you hear me talking about reverse mentoring as a concept, but what is a reverse mentor? Well, reverse mentor is now at the more junior level educational or career stage than the reverse mentee. So we kind of have to just turn our thinking around from traditional mentorship to this. Candidates may include, and I want to emphasize that this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just to give applicants a feel of where they may fall. So early career researchers, postdocs, grad students, managers, and analysts and coordinators, because again, this is open to our volunteers and FASEB member society staff would fall in the category of a reverse mentor. Next slide, please. So what is a reverse mentee? So it's the opposite. A reverse mentee is at a more senior level career stage than their reverse mentor. Again, not an exhaustive list, but candidates may include dean, provost, VPs, or presidents, department chairs, head of division chiefs, professors, and executive directors. Next slide, please. So when is the application period? So as I just mentioned, the application period is open now and will close August 31st, but the next one will be on February 15th, and then that will close on March 31st of next year. Can I apply outside the application period? So we're only accepting applications during the open application period, but If the application period is closed, you can express your interest by contacting us at diversity@faseb.org, and we will add your name to our email distribution list. Next slide, please. All right, well, how and when are the pairs notified of their matches? So you've heard me talk about, okay, the lead subcommittee, they're gonna meet in September, conduct a matching session. How are they notified? So I did mention briefly that you'll be contacted. Specifically, pairs will receive an email containing the following information. As I mentioned before, the name of your mentor or mentee, and then a partnership agreement to be acknowledged by both parties. I know partnership agreement sounds very legal. It really isn't. I think it's maybe about a page. And basically, it's just kind of outlining some of the expectations of the relationship, like, that you will meet, monthly, that you will give their relationship a chance, and being open and honest with your thoughts and communications, things of that nature. So at least both parties are aligned when going into the relationship. Next slide, please. Okay, so now you're matched, what happens next? So the pairs are going to be invited to an orientation session hosted by the lead subcommittee. So during the orientation session, the pairs are going to learn more about this program. A lot of what LV and I already mentioned here, but taking it to the next level, and it'll also provide them with expectations and roles and responsibilities of the pairs. The mentoring relationship, the pairs will commit, to a 1-year relationship. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is our suite of DEAI programs that are a part of our board's $1.5 million investment earmarked for DEAI. Now, the purpose for today's webinar, obviously, is to talk about our LEAD program, but we just want to make you aware that we have other programs that were just launched recently as well. For example, we have CARES. This is our Family Care Awards program, where we'll be awarding $5,000 to society members to help alleviate any financial burdens associated with caregiving, which will, of course, enable our members to continue with their scientific training, professional development, and career progression. If you want to learn more about CARES, we are hosting another informational session specifically for CARES next Wednesday at the same time, 2 to 3. And you can apply to both programs. Then we have Friends. Now, this is our recruitment initiative, where we're going to be broadening our recruitment strategies through outreach efforts by building external relationships with minority serving institutions, academic institutions that have large, diverse populations, as well as diverse professional STEM organizations. Now, we want the scientific community to know that there are career opportunities in and outside of academia. So to learn more about career opportunities at FASEB and our member societies, you can click on the Friends card on our web, and then that would take you to all of the career opportunities. Next slide, please. So none of these programs would be possible without the support of our board, as I mentioned, with their very generous investment, and our DEAI committee. So this represents all the members of our DEAI committee. You may see your member society on this slide, and they have been very supportive with everything that we've been doing. And next slide, please. So this is our LEAD subcommittee. And as I mentioned, they were really instrumental in developing this this program. They rolled up their sleeves and really dived in. So we just wanted to highlight the members of this subcommittee. And again, you may see your member society represented on this slide. Next slide, please. And then last, contact information. So I know we probably threw a lot of information at you. And again, you'll have time to ask any questions, but if something comes to you, which always happens to me after the fact, you can just reach out to us at diversity@faseb.org. And Elvia and I will be sure to get back to you. Next slide, please. I'm sorry. So that concludes our informational webinar lead. Hopefully you're as excited as we are about it, but we wanted to now open the floor to see if any of you have any questions or even comments about this new innovative mentoring program.